everybody. Welcome to the Cafe of Knowledge. Today we on the topic about clean or nasty stores. And I tell you, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about this week is the cleanliness or nasty stores. And I know a lot of us has went into stores and we love to go into a clean store. And this is something that, like I said, whether you own a business, because you know that's what we do on Wednesdays. We try to teach a little bit about the work field, about the retail industry, and about the restaurant industry. We touching base on all those things, like on Wednesdays, things that's going on throughout our communities. And I wanted to touch on that clean or nasty stores, okay? Because we got a lot of that as well going on. And if you are in the retail business, restaurant business, whether you're an employee or whether you're on the management team, corporate office, or you're a small business owner and you run a little deli, or you run a little restaurant, or you run a little retail store with clothes in it, or shop, or any type of retail, a gas station, anything. This needs to be this is a very urgent topic to be talked about. And that's being clean inside these establishments rather than being dirty, because we have more dirty stores than we do clean stores. And let me tell you, that's another thing that can decline your sales, decrease your money, and everything is having a nasty establishment and not being clean. So, cleanliness, when you have a clean store, that will increase your customers. Customers love to go into at least a clean store, okay? Now, customers just love clean stores. That's just point blank, period. A nasty store or a very clustered store will decline your customers. Like, your customers will not come back. Once they come in there and they see that your establishment, it doesn't matter what it is, a retail store or a restaurant store, when they come in and that establishment is dirty or clustered or you can't move around, they normally don't come back, And I've went in stores like that. And let me stop right there, because we're going to start back off on the clustered stores and the dirty stores in a minute. But I did have a couple of people was asking me in my email about my book, and I've been writing it. And I have been telling everybody I don't do it often, but this is my book, and it's called Inventory Control Easy. And it's by Nichelle Jones. You can always go to Amazon. You can go to Google, go to Amazon, and you can order the book from there. Or you can go to your nearest bookstore, Barnes and Nobles or whatever, BAM, and you can order that book from there, okay? So let's get back to this. As you walk into a store and it's clustered, or it just have a whole bunch of stuff in the middle of the floor, or either versus it's nasty. You go into some retail stores and every aisle is a boxes and a little step stool ladder, and all you gotta not go through that aisle. You got to go through another aisle, then come back around to the aisle you want to get to, because it's so clustered. And it's like that happens all the time. It's like the employees don't even care. But what you have to fail to realize for these businesses and stuff is when your customers have to walk around boxes, some customers try to squeeze through boxes anyway. That's when you come to those accident reports, because somebody may fall or slip and fall or try to grab something because boxes in the way and something fall on them, or they fall over the boxes. You're risking yourself. These businesses, you're risking yourself on bad accidental behavior, because you are putting boxes and all this stuff in the middle of the aisles and little step stool ladders. And sometimes you can have a step stool ladder, a business can have a step stool ladder in the aisle, and if a customer can't reach something, they'll try to get on that step stool ladder and hurt themselves, trying to get either up the step stool or down the step stool. And that's when your business start coming out of money, trying to pay for a hospital bill that a customer has hurt themselves in the store. And not only that, it's the same way with the employees when the employees get hurt. And that's because they're trying to stock the store up with a whole bunch of boxes all over the places. And I mean, it's just terrible. Customers do not like to go into a clustered store. It's like when they walk in, every aisle has some type of boxes and step stool ladder, empty boxes and stuff strolled all over the place. It's just terrible. Customers don't like to go into a cluster store. And even if the store is pretty clean, like you look around and things are pretty tidy and neat, it drops your sales because you have all kind of debris going around your store that people got to step over or go around the aisle. They got to go over 2-3 other aisles just to get to the aisle they want to get to, because they got to go back up and come back down. It's just terrible. And you putting your customers through a whole lot of heartache, headache, and too much time. Everybody don't have the time to walk over 4-5 miles over trying to get to one doggone thing. It don't make sense. It don't make sense when you gotta walk a mile or walk 2-3 aisles or whatever just to get to where you need to get to, because the employees or the store have all kind of boxes and stuff all over the place. It really declines your sales, and that will stop customers from coming inside of a store, which also decreases your sale, and it decreases your profit, the bottom line number. I'm telling you, you have to make sure that your stores are clean, and a clean store just means better profit. It do. A clean store automatically know that increases their money, and it increases their profit. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that, And your store have less accidents, and less customer complaints, because it is some customers out here that do go into the store and they have all that stuff is going on and stuff. And see, people have to realize that you have people that have to walk with a cane or walk with a walker or something like that. And when your store have all that stuff or stroll all over the place and all over the floors and just in the middle of everywhere, just debris, just from the front of the aisles to the back of the aisles, on every aisle, it's just a mess. Now, I understand stores doing that late at night, because that's the time that the store is supposed to be stocking up, stocking up and everything, getting ready for that following day. But when your store is doing that all day long, and it look like you do it all day, so they don't have to be bothered with it at night, but that's bad for business. That's poor business. I'm telling you right now, it's poor business. Now, if people have to understand that if the customers feel like this, if the main store is dirty, like if they go into establishment, because I do that. If I go into establishment and if they have boxes everywhere and little small step stool ladders everywhere, and you can't hardly get through the aisle, or you got to squeeze through the aisle, or you got to watch where you step and all that stuff there, I'm going to tell you right now, if a customer have to do all that, they automatically assume that the whole store is dirty. Even back there in the warehouse where they get their shipments from the truck, unload and load back there in the warehouse or back there in the back area, if it look like that in the front, we automatically assume that it show enough terrible in the back. And you don't want people to perceive your business like that. But we can't help but to perceive it, because if it's dirty where we shopping, we automatically know that it's very dirty behind the closed doors back there where y'all have the shipping and receiving and all that stuff. It's just basically terrible back there, and probably don't even know where nothing is back there. It's so dirty back there. So now the employees and the store owners or whatever can tell us all day, well, now, the front look like that but the back's not like that. You can't tell us that. Now, it might not be like that, but we see what we see. And if it's dirty in the main store, it most definitely dirty back there in the back. That's just how it go, you know. And you do have some businesses that they trying to save on labor. They say, when you say, "Oh yeah, it's only one person that's doing all the stock." That's why all the boxes and stuff stroll over the place. You got probably about 2-3 people just working to stock some stuff up. And then when a customer says something about it, they say, "Oh, well, we don't have but one worker working. That's how." And then you got a person stocking. And then when a customer go to the register, the person who's stocking leave all that mess on the floor and run up there to the register and work the register too. That's because that company is cheating on labor and trying to save on labor hours. You cannot save on no labor hours when you are running a business. Now, you can go by your labor budget, but that budget, you should be able to have enough workers to where you don't have one worker trying to stock and run the cash register. Now, sometimes management team will do that for about an hour or two until the next shift come in. But if you're running your store like that, day in and day out, 7 days a week, from open to close, something is wrong. Something is wrong. That means somebody is not budgeting their labor hours. They just saving and don't even know what they're saving on. Because at the end of the month, when you do the labor hours, or the end of the week, you do look at your labor hours, you got about 200-300 labor hours that you done saved on. Okay, you have saved on your labor. You done saved 200 hours on your labor, but you lost $500 in customers because of your dirty store, because you're trying to save on labor, because there's not enough workers to come in and help out and make sure all these boxes and stuff are not strolled all over the floor and everybody is able to stock up and do everything in a neat fashion. So even though you saving on $200 worth of hours or whatever, that still don't take the fact that you just lost $500 or $600 in customer money because you had a lot of those customers walk out because of your clustered, nasty store. So that's what I said. And a lot of you might want to get this book if you in the management, or even if you run a small business, or even if you in a corporate business. Because I see some corporate business that's running their stores just like this. And I said they better be glad I ain't in the business no more. But I do have the book out to teach them how to do this. That book teaches you how to save on labor hours without making your store suffer with employees and make your customers suffer with a dirty, nasty, clustered store. And that's how come I don't give anybody no breaks about, "Oh, well, we just don't have enough of, we don't have enough people working. We got to hire some people." I don't want to hear all that, because you ain't do nothing but tell me that you don't know how to run your store. Because I was a master of that right there for over 25 years. So you can't kick that to me. Now, you might can kick that to a customer who don't know anything about that, but for someone who have ran 15 stores at one time for all them years, you cannot pull that over my head. And I don't even bother explaining to them. I just look at them and say, "Oh, yeah, okay, then they lying dead in my face, but okay, I still ain't coming back because I know what the real deal is. The real deal is y'all are sorry inside this store. And y'all are trying to save on some labor hours that you got the labor hours to spend, but you're being too cheap and making your business suffer instead." Now, I ain't in agreement with that one. So that's how that go. Now, customers automatically feel that things are terrible going on in that back when they see how dirty it is in the main area. And that's just like, I'm going to tell you the 5 qualities that y'all can tell that a store is clean, that you are in a clean store. And most customers can see this, but this is what you did. And see, most corporate offices and most stores should have a checklist. Because like I said, I had a checklist for the inside and the outside. So everybody, the management team, will have to get that checklist every day, sign it, date it. And each shift of managers, if you have the day shift manager, had to fill out that checklist. The night shift manager had to fill out that checklist. They had to sign it and everything and email it or send it over to me. And then I look at it, and that lets me know what all working. And on that checklist, it had everything on it. It had restrooms in it. It had toilet tissues in it. It had paper towels on it. It had all the equipment working. It had what's the temperature on the shake machines. Is the shake machines working? What cash register? Is all cash registers working? You had to put all cash registers working. If one is not working, you had to say it's not working. And then I had a line. You had to tell me what happened to it. What's going on? And then they tell me that way I can get all that stuff together. And then it even had on now the sidewalks, the parking lot, the trash cans, the grease filters. It had everything. The floor on the outside where the main customers are, the floors back there in the warehouse or the kitchen or whatever. It had a checklist for everything. You had to tell me any graffiti, any kind of writing. You had to look for that in the bathrooms, on the inside, on the outside. You had to look for all that. I had a precise checklist to make sure that each one of them stores I'm running looked good and clean and presentable for customers. I even had on there, check all window seals. Yeah, they had to pull back window seals. Because see, if they tell a tale and mark that it's taken care of, and I could be right around the corner. And I'll pull up and go in there and check right behind them. And if it's dirty, then I know that they telling tales on them checklists. And that's when they get that corrective action plan, which is what we said is a write-up. But I'm going to make sure those stores are ran smoothly. I even had on there how many employees you got. Because if you write down there 2 and it's a busy day, why 2? What's going on? You need to be trying to call somebody in. See, I was on top of all that stuff. And that's what these companies need to do right now. Management team, all of them. They need to be on top of this. But they're not. And that's why people are so frequently going into stores and the stores are nasty. And that's because the management team don't care. The employees don't care because management don't care. And the corporate office don't care because they feel like as long as they pulling in just a little bit of money, they okay. I don't know where it stopped at. That it used to be that businesses are trying to pull in everything. They can pull in every little dollar. But they can't be worried about that now. Not the way we going in and seeing broken equipment, ice cream machines down, shake machines down. The stores are dirty. The bathroom have no tissue. They have no paper towel. The outside parking lot got cans, tissue, paper, and newspapers all strolled through the parking lot. Got cans with drink cans and everything all over the doggone place. You can't hardly park for crushing over a can or a bottle. It's just terrible. They seem like they just don't care anymore. But customers need to care because we are the people that's buying this stuff, food, milk, and all that stuff, and bringing it into our home. So if we go into an establishment and it's dirty, we are buying their dirty product and bringing it back inside our home. And then you wonder why all these doggone nasty type of diseases are showing up and stuff all over, because everybody done got to the point where they don't care. Nasty is the new trend, seem like, and broken equipment is the new trend, it seem like, because it's happening too much. It's happening each day, all day, in a lot of these restaurants and retail stores, and that's what's killing their business. You know, and so now I'm going to tell you how you can tell qualities that mean the store is clean. And when I look at it all the time. And that's why everywhere I go, I'm very observant, but it's a lot of it is because I know what to expect. I know what's supposed to be done. So I go in with a whole nother set of eyes than the average customer. But I do say something about it for everybody. Because when I go into a store and if it's dirty, I'm going to talk to that manager or I'm going to call corporate, not only because I'm dissatisfied, but I want to make sure that the people that comes in behind me or whatever have a little bit better service than what I'm looking at. Because that's when the health problem come in at, is when you have dirty and nasty stores. That starts a whole lot of diseases and coughs and flus and all. It starts a whole bunch of trend, nasty trend, when a store is nasty. I don't care what it is, you know. And so now you can tell when the store is clean by the way when you go and park. You can look at the parking lot. You can look at the sidewalks. You can see how neat and clean the sidewalks are. You can look at the trash cans and see how the trash cans are. If they got sanitizers, wet wipes and stuff for you to wipe your hand, because in some places that you have to put your hand on grocery carts, you know, and you have to be able to wipe the handles and stuff on that nowadays anyway because of the pandemic. You know, these stores should be supplying that. But even though every time I go into the store, I have that myself. But these stores should be supplying that for their customers. You know, this when you know that the store is clean and care about their customers. And then they should have sparkling, shiny floors. Because I know in the stores that I was running, every month we had a buffing crew and a wax crew that would come in late at night when the store is closed, and when all the stores are closed, they'll come in late at night and do those floors, wax those floors, and you come in the next morning, them floors be shiny. And they stay shiny for about a month, you know, just as long as the employees keep up with it by doing their mopping every day across it and doing their sweeping every day. It'll stay like that for a minute, and then each month the buffing crew and the waxing crew will come in. But you could tell, I looks down at floors, and some floors look terrible. It look like they had stains on there. You can go in there and stain on now Monday, and you go back Friday, and them same stains is down there on them floors. That's when you know the store is nasty, you know. But you can tell when a store is clean when you walk in there. And like I said, the sidewalks are clean, the parking lot is clean. When you go in, the entryway is clean. And throughout the store is clean. And then when you go into the restrooms, if the restrooms are clean and they got a fresh little smell to it, smells pretty fresh, and it's stocked up with tissue, it's stocked up with paper towel, then that's when you know the store is clean. Because let me tell you, 80%, especially in the restaurant, 86% of customers who go into restaurants, when they see that the restroom is dirty, 75% of them ain't gonna come back. I'm gonna tell you right now. And that is in the books. That is for real. A restaurant can have 86% customers come in. And if 86% of those customers go to the restroom and that restroom is dirty, it's 75% of them are not going to return. Because people automatically feel like if that restroom is dirty and nasty, then that kitchen where they cooking that food at is the same way. It's the same way. Ain't no way in the world you can have a dirty restroom and a clean kitchen. And I always tell people that's the same way with a household. Because me, myself, it don't matter what kind of holiday it is. If I'm invited somewhere, I go somewhere, the first thing I do, because like I said, I'm programmed to know all this stuff anyway. And when I go to anybody's house and I go in their bathroom, I could just say, hey, can I use your restroom right quick? They say, yeah, it's right there. I don't even really have, but if they done invited me over there for dinner, if they done invited me over there to dinner to eat, or they barbecuing outside, I don't care what you're doing as long as it's requiring food. If you just tell me you want me to come over there and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm going to go over there to that bathroom first and see how you keeping that bathroom. Because if that bathroom is dirty, I don't want no peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't want no potato chips. Not over there. I know that's okay. I'm good. Because that's an automatically instinct for people. If the restroom is dirty, then that kitchen is dirty. And I don't care how you put it, how you say, that's just the way it goes. You know? Now, so you got 75% of your customers will not return back into that store if that restroom, not that restaurant now. They might do in the retail store. They'll come, but in the restaurant, or fast food, if 86% of your customers come in there and they go to that restroom and that restroom is dirty, 75% of them are not going to come back. That's how I always emphasize about them restrooms, the floors, the toilets, the toiletries and everything had to be stocked, sanitized, ready to go. And we was doing this before the pandemic to make sure that everything was sanitized every hour. Every hour. And sometimes 30 minutes. During the daytime, it was 30 minutes. During the slow time at nighttime, it was an hour. But I had people to go in there at least every 30 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Checking every stall. Checking every toiletry. Checking every paper towel. Checking every floors and stains, checking all the walls, checking all the sinks. They was checking everything to make sure it looks plush A1 okay. And if it wasn't looking A1 okay, they had to make sure they block it off, they clean it, and all that stuff, and then it's back in operation. But hold on. We gonna make sure ain't no customers coming into there to no dirty restrooms. And that's just the way it go. And then you have some places that you can go for about 30 minutes. And you could go into a store very quickly just to go grab something and whatever. And this has a lot to do in the food industry. When you go into a food industry, me, myself, I always like to ask for the health score. Because the health score should be right in the front by the register at any restaurant or any fast food place. And if you don't see it, that means they hiding it. It's probably got a terrible bad score. So they hiding it. But I always look for the health score in every restaurant, every fast food, all the time. And now they got it where a lot of people can't go into establishment. They got the drive-thru open. I will ask them when I get to the window, where's y'all health score at? Because even though you're doing drive-thru, that health score should be somewhere. Now that you know that the restaurant area is not fully open yet, that health score should be somewhere by drive-thru, so that the people can see what the score is. Because if the health score is below 60, they automatically shut a business down. But I never like to eat anywhere where the health score is below a 75. I don't like 70s because 70 is a borderline doggone self. Because in order to get a 70, you got a lot of stuff going on inside that store. And usually food places have where the health department comes in and do a health score, and then the company, the restaurant or the fast food place have to put that health score on the wall. And a lot of them don't like to put it on the wall if it's below 75 or if it's below 70. You know, they don't, if it's a 69, a 66, they don't like to put it up there. You know why? Because that says they are dirty. That's why. So I like to ask, where's your health score? Because I want to see it. See, this is